zone on the title as he looks to seize his first Masters title. Can the Aussie make history in three-peat? Usbc Masters is next. Live in Titletown, just down the road from the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Schwabenon Bowling Alley plays host to the stepladder finals of the 65th United States Bowling Congress Masters. Our top 5 finalists, tournament leader A.J. Johnson, Jason Belmonte, Mike Devaney, Hall of Famer Pete Weber, and Martin Larsen are our top 5 field. And hello again, everyone. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. Kimberly Pressler reports laneside today. 336 players to the starting gate in the Masters on Tuesday. The top 5 are competing for the very first major title on the 2015 PBA Tour. Randy, historical implications all over the place today. Not many things are missing from the Hall of Fame resume of Pete Weber.
You've been waiting to say frozen tundra all week, but you're right, Mike. Pete Weber's resume is, it's one of the best ever. And the only thing missing on that resume is a Masters title. You know, folks, I think the one thing that we have to come to realize is how much more time at age 52 does Pete Weber have? And I think that's why he said to us last night that if he were to win this, we would see a different side of Pete Weber. He would break down, get down on his knees, and start crying. And I think that's something we'd all like to see.
Weber's going to need to run the ladder out of the number 2 slot. Jason Belmonte looking to do what no one has ever done in the sport of bowling.
Looking to go back-to-back-to-back titles here at the Masters. Never been done in the 65-year history. But Jason Belmonte was a little distraught when he qualified in the number 2 position. But here's a stat for you. In the history of this event, the number 2 position has the highest winning percentage ever. Jason Belmonte, if he could get through that first match, he will have all the momentum, he'll have a perfect blueprint of what the lanes are giving him, and he'll have all the confidence going into the title match against a player who's making his first ever telecast. I think Jason Belmonte is in a perfect position.
Kimberly Pressler is laneside with the 2-time PBA Player of the Year.
Thanks, Mike. Jason, you find yourself in the final for the 3rd year in a row. What is it about the Masters and this format that you play so well on?
Well, it's just so unique. You know, it's not about how many pins you can knock over. It's just as long as you've got enough pins against your opponent once you make the match play. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be how pretty. It's usually how many. And, I'm excited to be on the TV show again.
Well, we just heard Randy say that you're in the number 2 seed, and that's actually a positive thing, at least from his point of view. What is your point of view on that?
Look, I've won this tournament from the top seed and from the 5th seed. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as I can get to the show, I always have an opportunity to win. So if you had told me at the beginning of the week, Kimberly, I was going to be in the number 2 spot, I would have taken it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good luck to you today. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Stepladder bracket includes our opening match. Hall of Famer Pete Weber against Sweeten's Martin Larsen. The winner gets Mike Devaney. Belmonte waits in the semifinal, and then amateur A.J. Johnson will bowl for the title today against the survivor of the stepladder.
And the format, as Mike J. talked about in the Open, 336 bowlers started, 15 games of qualifying, top 64 advanced. Double elimination match play, or as I like to call it, if you get to the loser's bracket, you're in bowling purgatory. Pete Weber bowled more games than any other player this week, 39 for Pete, 18 yesterday.
It's tough to get out of the land of perpetual bowling, but our top 5 are here, and Martin Larsen opening shot at the Masters. High flush hit for Larsen and an opening strike.
And you probably saw that bowling ball go pretty straight down the lane. It's not because there's that much oil. It's because Martin Larsen's throwing a regular urethane bowling ball.
Now opening shot for Pete Weber, tied for third on the all-time list with Norm Duke with 37 lifetime PBA Tour titles. Tied with the great Earl Anthony with 10 majors. Opening shot. Strike it, piece.
Weber also had the highest average overall of our 5 players today. In fact, in the first round of qualifying, Pete Weber averaged 261 at age 52. He's just a freak of nature.
Weber, the overall qualifying leader after 15 games, 238.27 here at the Masters. And here's his run through the field, defeating Christopher Sand, who got into the field on a roll-off, Ildemaro Ruiz, Francois Lavoie, John Zerbinski, Barrett, Roberts, and Anderson, all facing Weber. The 4th seed.
Well, he didn't like it off of his hand.
Might have been a little wide.
You heard him just say that, but when you have such a good hand and a great touch at the bottom of the swing, as Pete Weber does, well, good things tend to happen. He thinks this is wide of target. It is wide of target. You can see by the body language, but enough on it to get it back into that swish zone.
Larsen speaking to us yesterday, Randy, saying, I've played everywhere from the gutter to the 6th arrow. Urethane is my strongest piece of equipment. I've run the spectrum in this tournament.
Yeah, and right now that urethane ball going straight up in between 1st and 2nd arrow looks pretty good. Take a look at his arsenal. Well, there you see the hook potential going with a pitch black. The straightest piece of equipment in his bag by far.
Larsen, owner of 6 European Bowling Tour titles, with a win today would qualify for next week's Tournament of Champions. 3rd frame. High flush hit for Larsen, opening turkey.
Got it a little bit right, got some more hand in it, and the ball just kind of checked early and then walked right to the 1-3. I don't know, Weber looked a little perturbed by that last strike by Martin Larsen and the way he ran it out. Let's see what kind of react we get here if Pete strikes to tie the match up.
All strikes, Weber up in the 3rd, opening match at the Masters.
No react. You know, we talked about it before. We saw, how many can forget possibly the greatest telecast in the history of professional bowling? I know it's my greatest telecast that I ever covered, which was the U.S. Open. So we take a look at Pete's arsenal using an Optimus, and you can see how much stronger his piece of equipment of choice is. But the one thing that we've learned over the years, you don't want to rile Pete up on television.
Do not disturb. 4th frame.
Come on now. That
is right here. Hambo! Interesting choice of words right as the guy holds up your favorite sign. Look at this form here. Just efficiency of motion is what I like to call Pete Weber's game, and a great result there. And of course the beautiful react by Pete Weber.
For Larsen, it's been a grinding roller coaster in an event, and he hasn't felt he's bowled that great. Bucket crumbling, but not the 2-pin.
See, and there's the only issue with using urethane. If you miss it just a hair at the bottom, it's not going to have enough of an engine, enough cover stock to grab the lane and hook into the pocket. You've got to be real precise with that in your miss. If you're going to miss target, it has to be left and not right.
Spare for Martin Larsen. "15 games of qualifying and then seeded into the match play. 5-1 in match play, defeating Kyle Troop. Yes, that is the son of Guppy Troop, Eugene McCune, and Dan McClellan, then losing to the tournament leader A.J. Johnson to go to the losers bracket, and then beating Angelo and Chad Nelson, and then finishing third to earn the number 5 seed in that last eliminator match.
You know, I think it says a lot about Martin's character. It was a tough loss for him a month or so ago when he lost the Scorpion Championship. And, you know, he was in position to win that. He needed a double in the 10th. He got the first hit, and then Greek Church second ball in the 10th. As we take a look one more time, and again, you have to miss left of target, not right. He did that. That ball was on line. But I think it says a lot about his character. You know, he suffered a real tough defeat, but guess what? He picked himself up, dusted himself off, and he's back.
Looking for the hook. That's a bucket crumpler, just leaving the 8.
That's a huge break, not leaving the 2 and the 10 with it. You heard Petey asking the ball to hook, and it did just enough to trip out the 2-8-10, just leaving the 8 pin.
Single pin spare for Weber. Corrals it. And Pete's got a 10-pin lead halfway in our opening match.